have you ever looked into like the ethics of responding to a Google review of a client?
Yeah.
Because, I know ethically you can't really disclose obviously details about your representation and stuff like that, but like just in general, is that ethical to respond to Google reviews?
My understanding is that it is. Now, what you can't do is if someone says, you guys never called me back and yada, 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 and you didn't fight for my case, you can't go say, well, that's not true. And here's all the things that we did. And here's what you told me, right? Because
Mm,
there's very small carve outs for attorney-client privilege. The most common one is someone called your office and they had a bad experience, or they never called you at all. They just left you a bad review. I don't have a problem personally with review removal programs, especially when they're not somebody that had a real interaction with your firm. Or if somebody is just tarnished, I kind of will side with the lawyer on this one. Like, I'd rather not have the review there than have it there. Now, if it's going to stay there, you need to respond in a way that's professional, because you're not responding to that person. You're responding to the person that reads it. And I think, was that Conrad Sam who posted that? I think that was him at Mockingbird who posted it.
it wasn't Conrad, it was this guy named Andrew Sickler
Oh,
from
he's with
like
SMB.
SMB, I think.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Conrad posts a lot about that sort of stuff too. So he probably has said something similar.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity because you're writing it for the next person that reads it. But obviously, if I can get the review not to be there ethically, then I would rather have it not there. But you can't
Definitely.
you have to be careful. You can't go disclose information about the case. But in my experience, most of the bad reviews that we see clients get are not from existing clients. And that's the difference. They're largely from someone that called, someone that's leaving a review for the wrong business, somebody that's trying to extort them. We had a client get extorted. Someone blasted all of they have like 5 profiles in California. They got blasted by this company. They tried to extort them. Google took them down. You have to be careful with everything and the ethics rules. And the ethics rules are always changing, especially like we have clients in New York and New Jersey. There was some ethics rule that just changed, and we had to go sweep every single page of the website and reduce the amount of information we were giving on certain cases, which was hell. I mean, it's a lot of work, as you guys know, to do that.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. What I pointed out was like Google has rules themselves on what you can and cannot put in a review, for instance. I think it is tough because, like you were saying, the majority, I think, of bad reviews are like somebody called your firm because they thought they had a case and you told them you couldn't help them. And then they get mad about that and they go leave you a bad review. I think in probably not an insignificant amount of cases, that rejection could have been handled better, right?
Yes.
So, like, I would say that there's like humility that needs to exist, but maybe there's something we could have done better here, even
Mhm.
though it's not a client, and even if we don't think it's right that they left us this review. But point being, there are rules around leaving reviews, and if people break those, you should go and get that review removed, which Google does provide avenues for doing that. They have a form and stuff. My concern was more like, because this is within, like, as the lawyer or even the marketing company for the lawyer, because you can do that, there's a system to go get those removed. I'm just concerned about like an industry popping up being like, this is all we do. We get your Google reviews removed. And then it's like, okay, how are you doing that in a way
Yeah.
that I couldn't do it myself?
Yeah.
And like, why aren't you telling me exactly how?